watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent. Hi, I'm Danny Bonaducci, and you are watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
Tony, welcome to Go.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on? What? Alright, you go in, Tony. Good.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead Radio Show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Let's give a big shout out to Tony Walker.
Tony Walker, who's a friend of mine.
Tony Walker!
Tony Walker! Tony Walker, everybody. Stand up, Tony. Where are you? Tony Walker! Thank you so much, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Walker.
Our favorite, we love you.
Knockem dead. Comedy show.
Let's give a big shout out to
Hi, everybody.
Tony Walker.
Hang on.
Tony Walker, who's a friend of mine.
Tony Walker.
Okay, there we are. There we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. It's Thursday. The Knockem Dead Comedy Show. We're coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please follow the page and do the liking and all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up and all that. No matter where you're watching from, just share the link to the show on all your social medias. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Let's see, what am I missing? Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have all the camera angles set up so we can see everybody. So, we're... Oh, I knew it. I forgot. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to participate in the show and comment and all that good stuff, well, please head on over to the YouTube feed because that is where we monitor the comments. So that's what I forgot. Okay. All right. So, like I said, we're at Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club, and we have three legends with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Frank is here, of course. It's Thursday. Naomi Margolin?
That's right.
Okay, Naomi's here, and Mark Newman had so much fun last time, he has returned. That's exactly why he's back, not because Naomi told him to drive him. Exactly.
Not that I'm not capable of driving.
I'm sure you are. Sure you are. But you, what happened? Did you needed a little extra, like guitar playing, or did he say, I'm coming? Is he yokoing you? Did he say, you can't be here on your own, I'm coming?
I don't think he would ever say that. I think he was concerned about me being alone with Frank.
Well, that is the concern. That's been it's time you hear the truth. That's been an ongoing issue since I've known you. Nobody wants to leave. Nobody wants to be alone with you. Nice. Not a dog, not a woman, nobody.
Nice.
They're scared of you because Frank has that reputation, of being this horrible creep. You gave me the lead. I went with it. I don't know.
It's going to be fun.
And you have to understand, as his brother, any opportunity to pick on him is welcome. So, right? You have siblings?
I have siblings.
And right? It's the same, right?
Yes.
Right. So there you go. Although he doesn't really take the opportunity to pick on me as much.
Well, who's older?
He is. Oh, I should have asked who you thought was older. Yeah, I should have went with that.
The third sibling, the one who's not here, is the oldest.
Oh, okay, there you go. That works. The one thing I have that I can pick on you with is that old picture with the forehead.
Oh well, that was your fault. You can't pick on me. You did that to me. There's a when we were kids, he was goofing around with an uncle of ours, like wrestling, and the uncle put his head through the wall. Right through the sheetrock. Boom.
Yep.
And we didn't want to get in trouble. So we were talking before we went on the air about old records. Yep. You had a Partridge Family record. Well, we had a Wonderama record.
Me too.
Yeah, Bob McAllister. That's it.
That's the one.
So
Sonny Fox.
Yeah. Before our time.
Yeah, okay. I know the name, but you kind of lost me more. We masking tape. We just taped the album cover over the hole so nobody would know. But what we started doing, we would almost use it as a door, and we would put our toys on the insulation. We would put our we were using it as storage.
Right.
And so one day I was in there getting something, and my mother walked into the room. She caught it, and she found out about the hole. So she yelled and screamed, and I think she beat me. She usually beat me. You were an unhealthy child, so he didn't get beat as much as I did. So I'm joking. So we had to clean this hole out. So Frank being Frank, he didn't do any physical labor. I was doing all the cleaning out, and Frank was holding a lamp without the shade so I could see. And I don't remember what or why, but we got into an argument. And Frank took this. See, this is the real Frank. I want you to know this. He took the lamp,
No.
Yes, that's exactly what
not
happened.
what happened.
That's exactly what happened. The next day
That's not what
was school pictures for me at school.
Let's see the school picture with the burn.
Frank, for some reason, has it on his phone. So I have that dot on my head. See, he won't even get up now. He does no physical labor. You see that? There it is. Well, I've showed it on here before, but yeah, that's me with the burn mark on my head.
What happened was he couldn't read. He couldn't see some of the toys. So I tried to move the lamp over so he can see it better and got him in the head.
That's not what happened.
You're saying it was just an accident.
Of course.
It was an accident, and you're saying it was an on purpose.
Totally on purpose.
You've never
Laughed
forgiven him.
after the fact. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there are those things siblings have that just will never let go of.
Like Jerry Garcia, his brother cutting his finger off by accident.
But that's an urban legend, right? I thought, didn't he cut it off? Like, what? Is that really the true story?
Isn't it?
I thought it was like some kind of weird, like, fishing accident or
Can you
something.
call Tom Sanfilippo right now?
We should call Tom right now. And speaking of Tom, you just again before we went on the air, enough about us.
No,
we're here to talk to you
fun.
guys.
I'm loving this. deflect.
Well, yeah, you're a little nervous about coming in here. Did Mark say, "Hey, these guys suck. Don't do this show"? Is that what happened? Like, what's the matter?
No, he's.
We're
I was
harmless.
all in.
First thing I said when I woke up.
No, but Mark kept saying, "Is like, okay, so it's going to be really easy."
See that?
Okay, so they're going to ask you questions. Okay. Okay, it's like it's going to be easy.
It's just
the easiest part of your day, which is so far true.
Well, yeah, we're just going to talk about you and the things that you're doing. That's all. So it's nice. I'm not asking you like math or anything. It's easy.
You could. I might get it right.
Yeah, would you?
I don't know. I failed 9th grade math.
Did you?
I did. I had to go to summer school.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of those. I failed 9th grade math. I was living in Great Neck. Summer school was in Roslyn.
Okay. All right.
Which is a bit of a schlep over.
Yeah, a good 20 minutes at least. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's a good drive, right?
Yeah.
So the day before summer school started, I came into the kitchen. I said to my folks, "How am I going to get there tomorrow?" And my parents said, I don't know. And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And they said, "Well, we didn't fail math. You failed math. So if you failed, you should figure out how you're going to figure out how to fix this."
Wow.
And so the first day, my father dropped me off on the way to work. And there I was with no way to get home. So I actually, my parents were not abusive. I had wonderful parents. I still have, like they taught me lessons, though, right?
Yes, yes.
And I ended up walking home from Roslyn all the way up Northern Boulevard, which took a while, but it was great exercise. I think by like the 4th day, I figured out there was a bus. And then I went to my parents. I said, "So apparently there's a bus that goes up Northern Boulevard, and I think it costs like 75 cents. Do you think you could give me the 75 cents so I can take the bus home?" And they're like, yeah, that sounds fair.
Oh, okay.
And that was my math story.
A few things come to mind here. First off, you said your parents said that's fair, talking about the bus.
Yeah.
Yep, we're in a comedy club. I see what you did there.
That was good. That's fair. That's slow. That was very slow for me. I wish I thought of that when I said it.
Take credit. Say you did it on
I
purpose.
did it on purpose.
Now, my other thought was, did your parents know? They probably knew this and just waited for you to figure that out on your own.
They figured I was somewhat bright. Eventually, I'd figure it out. By the way, maybe children were disappearing off the streets then, but it was the middle of the day. I was in 9th grade. How old am I? 13, 14?
Right,
Something
yeah.
like that. To think about then, my parents were like, "Yeah, just walk like 6 miles home."
We all
Good
did
luck
it though
with
back
that.
then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was no cell phones or, who had a dime for a payphone.
Right,
They were still
right.
dimes then, right?
I think so.
Yeah, right.
Payphone? What's a payphone?
It's true. Homing pigeon. Now, my other thought, even though, Great Neck, you failed, and so because it wasn't your school district, they didn't supply busing?
They didn't. Correct. That is correct.
Really?
Yeah, because if you failed math, or I mean, maybe if you failed literature, they gave you something else to get there. But
Well, if you failed literature, you
math,
couldn't read the bus to see where it's going. Probably.
I don't
yeah.
know. If you failed math, if you
Wow.
failed a class, you had to go to summer school. That's kind of on you.
So my final thought is, I bet you never failed anything again because you were like, I'm not fucking walking another 20 freaking minutes a day or each way again.
I did not fail anything
Oh,
else
see
ever
that?
again.
Okay.
I almost failed something.
Almost doesn't count. You passed. I don't care if
I
it's
almost passed,
66.
but I
You passed.
Negotiated a really good deal with my physics teacher.
Oh, yeah? Hey, now. So I put on the porn music?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You can curse on this show, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I could probably curse, but not the kind of curses I usually use. So, even those might be too much for this family show.
What does that mean? What kind of curses are we? What? I already dropped an F-bomb.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh.
So maybe on my third show, after
All right.
we get to know each other a little bit better, I'll
Okay.
slip one out.
I'm going to hold you to that. All right.
I've got a sailor mouth.
Really? See, that's awesome. I love men, women. Anybody with a sailor mouth. I love that. That means you're like, there's like a level of comfortability there. That like, I don't know, it's almost like a bonding thing. You feel comfortable enough to curse in front of somebody.
Yeah, he doesn't love it.
Really?
Depends on where we are.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or the
No,
story.
that makes sense.
Or the story.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Or the story.
Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, I don't know
the
what
audience.
He seems mad already. I don't want to cause a problem. I mean,
No.
you guys got to drive home. I don't want fighting here.
We had no gas in the car. We're not going to make it.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
Yeah.
so do you have a story? Or?
It's a story. So we have a we were doing a gig at the Paramount, opening up for a headliner band.
Which I think you'd mentioned when you were here a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
And one that, grew up listening to, big fans of, et cetera, et cetera. So we were in the green room of Paramount, and a buddy of ours comes over and says to one of the guys is in the band that we are in a tribute band of. So a friend of ours went over to this guy and said, "Hey, these are our friends. They were in the tribute band," and he looked at me and he said, huh, interesting. Which was a kind of, well, should I just say who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's Bill Payne, right? Who
From Little Feat.
From Little Feat, from the Doobie Brothers, from Bob Seger,
Right.
from like every classic album I listened to from a certain point in my life. So, so I meet Bill Payne and he looks at me, he's like, "So what do you do in the band?" And I said, well, I guess I get to be like Linda Ronstadt and Sean Murphy and all. I get the best part. I get to be all the chicks. Right?
I think it's cool that you said Sean Murphy. That right there impressed me. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool, man.
Oh, she's awesome. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
So, and he just goes, huh. So I'd say, 1987 or 88, you guys were playing, Little Feat, were playing in this baseball field in Liverpool, New York. It was August. It was about 104 degrees out. It was really hot. You were opening up for Johnny Winter.
Oh, wow.
And me and a group of friends found out about this, and we got in the car from Oneonta, where I was going to school at the time, and we drove up, and we had it was just a really hot day, and there was nobody there, because the bikers for Johnny Winter weren't showing up until much later. So there was nobody there. So I'm telling this to Bill Payne. I said, and so you and I, meaning me and Bill, I'm like, we hung out the whole afternoon together. It was such a great time. For hours, you and I hung out that day. And he looked at me and went, huh. And he walks away. So about 20 minutes later, he walks over and he stands right next to me. And he says, "What year did we hang out? What year was that?" I said, "I think it was 87. It could have been 88. And he's just sitting there looking. He goes, huh. And I go, oh, we didn't fuck. We just hung out.
Oh, jeez.
At which point he goes, oh, okay, and walks away.
This is why I can't let her go anywhere.
Because I'm trying to figure out, like, what is he thinking? And then I'm
Right.
thinking, oh, he's a rock star. That's what he's trying to think.
So he walked away the first time thinking you were going to follow it up. Let me introduce you to your son.
Exactly,
Right, yeah.
exactly.
They also thought she was the lead guitar player in the band.
Oh, really?
I was okay letting him think that, but maybe not the other part.
Oh my god.
That's great.
That's wild.
That's actually a great story.
It's a great
That's very
story,
funny.
right? But every time I tell that story, he says, fuck him. Like, that's a word. It's not a big word. Yeah, it's an appropriate word in that story. Like, it's very appropriate in that
Well, that
context.
your story, yeah,
That
absolutely,
context, it's
yeah.
very appropriate. Context is
Could
important.
have said we didn't sleep together, but she went for the gold.
Well, that's what he was thinking, right?
It's funny, when I met him, he actually said to me, did we fuck? I said, yes, Bill. I knew you'd remember.
But it was it was true. We hung out. We had a great day. He was like very gracious. That's a word I use often.
That's a good word, too.
He was very gracious. He was fun. He was easygoing. We talked a lot. And back then it was like I was a huge Little Feat fan. Now it's enormous.
Well, yeah. Was that kind of... Well, all right, well, you were already into them because you went to go see them. So I was going to ask if that was like your intro to them. But they were...
I got into them in high school.
But that was kind of like their height, because that was around the time of Let It Roll, right?
It's before that.
It was before that? Because Let It Roll was probably their biggest hit. So that was probably their most wide...
I think this is right before they came.
Okay.
Made that like big. I don't want to call it a comeback, but right before they got
It
back
was
on the
kind
more.
of, yeah.
On the map again.
90 or somewhere.
Was it that late? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's
right
one of the best
before
songs
that.
ever by anybody. I love that song. Yeah, that's a great
That's what
tune.
we closed the show with.
Really, yeah?
Sailing Shoes, our band.
Right.
SailingShoes.net. Or you can find us on Facebook. Yes.
That works, right?
Have to do that.
And Sean Murphy, she eventually joined the band, right? Is that why
Yeah.
you said her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's not anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. She sang backup for Clapton. She's been around.
She's the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That Sailing Shoes. But now you were talking before we went on the air. Are you also part of Tom's band too?
I am also in Tiger Rose.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
One of Tom's bands. Yes.
Yeah.
Not Grateful Dead. It is a Jerry Garcia tribute band.
Right. Which I would think. All right, and I don't mean this, and I may have asked Mark that when he was here, and I don't mean this to sound negative, but is a tribute band, like there's so many tribute bands.
Yep.
If you're getting into that field, it's probably hard to even pick somebody now because everybody's got a tribute band. But is there an audience for a Little Feat tribute band, or do you guys find like that? And again, I don't mean that negatively, but they're not. Like you met like
It's
to the
not a
general
household
public,
name.
right? They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. So that's where I'm just being honest. They're not a household name. So I'm just curious. Do you get like? Is it?
It depends. It depends where It depends where we are. We've played some places, even out of town where
The 8 by
we've
10.
had a
Right.
really good showing. Sometimes around here, not so great. When we've been playing the Great South Bay Music Festival.
Great festival. I
which
love
is
that
a
festival.
great place for us, and we get more people after we play there that hit us up on
I bet.
on our website and on Facebook that are like, "Where else are you playing, and how far do you travel?"
Right.
So there's an audience for it.
They're one of those bands where when you go to see it, that's when you're that's that song.
right.
Oh, that song. Like, so I don't mean it. Again, I didn't mean a negative, but it is one of those bands that once you hear the songs, you're like, oh, okay, I know that song. I just didn't know it was them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of that with that.
I don't know if Mark told the story. We, and Little Feats had like just by themselves, they've had this like arc, or maybe it's not an arc. Maybe I don't know how many humps. Camels have 3 humps, right? Of popularity.
Right.
and-
With 3 humps?
Well, you know what I'm saying, because it was this, and then it was this, and it's like right, like anyway. A 3-hump camel, something out of a Mel Brooks movie, right?
Yeah, right.
So, so we went up to see Paul Barrera and Fred Tackett were doing a show at Daryl's house in Pauling, which, by the way, Sail and Shoes at sailandshoes.net will be playing up at Daryl's house January
15.
January 15th.
Shameless promotion moment.
That's fine. That's
It's
why you're here.
shameful if
That's
you
right.
don't take the opportunity, right?
Right.
Coming.
Okay.
Right.
So, so the band knew about us already from a couple of different places. We were doing a show in the city once when they were playing City Winery, and they sent a bottle of like Little Feet wine up to us, and we're like,
Oh, sweet.
you know, so they knew who we were. So Mark and I go up there to see them, Fred and Paul doing their acoustic thing, which was great. And at the end of the night, we're talking to them, and Mark says, "Hey, by the way, you know, we're in Sail and Shoes," and Paul Barrera looks at us and he's like, "Huh?" And Mark says, "You know, Little Feet tribute band," and he goes, "Yeah. How's that working out for you?"
Oh, wow.
So in answer to your question,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, Little Feet, you know, 6-7 years ago, they weren't selling out the Cap or the
Right.
Paramount, right? So, like I said, they're a three hump camel.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
they're doing great now, and they're, you know, a lot of new people in the band with Scott Sherrard and Tony Leone, and, you know, that are really, really, you know, just adding so much and making it all alive and vibrant, and, you know, it's great.
And I don't. Do you think they're like they don't want a tribute band out there? You think they see that as like some sort of
No.
weird competition? No.
I think they dig it. I
Yeah.
think they do.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
There's only,
A couple.
I think there's one in San Francisco, and there's one in New Orleans, and
And one in Ireland, apparently.
Really?
That they had told
Yeah.
us about.
Oh, wow.
it's a cult following for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, when he said, "Yeah, how's that working out for you?" Because when they, around the time of Waiting for Columbus, like that's probably their most popular record.
Okay.
And some of the guys in the band, like Bill Payne, who was playing with everybody, Lowell George was producing The Dead. There were, you know, and then there were other guys in the band. They'd have to go take off from Little Feet to go play with somebody to make money.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Which. Yeah.
some
That's
of those
just
guys were going hungry.
right. Which is.
And Lowell wrote just about everything. So he had the publishing money as well. And, you know,
Right. The other guys should
right?
not hired guns, but kind
No,
of
right.
in a sense. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by your gaming chairs, by the way.
There's a comedian by the name of Anthony Rodia. He's maybe 4 or 5. Yeah, right after COVID, he started popping. So he's a big comedian. He sells out all over the country. He had a podcast in here, and that was one of the things he wanted.
You want to switch?
No, they look good on you, and you're color coordinated. I love it.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Stop and go today.
What's that?
We're stop and go today.
Yes.
Or we're a Christmas ball.
That's true too.
Christmas.
Well, I just with the bald heads and stuff, I was thinking bald. John Rusciello is commenting. He says, "Thank you for yesterday." You wish him happy birthday.
Right.
John, I hope your birthday was well. And Rothney says, "Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ann. Ann is watching from California." And it's like 8:30 in the morning, Ann. I'd be sleeping. Now what other bands? So yeah, we mentioned Sail and Shoes. We talked about Tom and Tiger Rose. Are there any other bands? I mean,
Oh, like Mark Newman band.
he's all over the place, right? Mark Newman
at
band.
marknewman.us.
There you go. That's right. What was the name of the album that just came out like a year or so ago?
Empirical Truth.
Empirical. I knew something truth, but empirical is too big of a word for me. So.
Yeah.
Which and I think I told you last time. It's great. I've heard maybe half of it. I think, give or take, and I think it's great. And,
Thank you.
And that's you in the video too, right? With Tom in the video for what's the one video from the album?
No, actually, there's no
Not
video
from the album?
There's a video for a song called Tulsa, and there's a video for a song called At the Border.
At the Border. Thank
Yeah,
you.
she's
That's
in that.
Yes.
yes. Okay.
I'm in that.
Okay.
With
Yep.
Mark. Not with Tom.
Did I say Tom?
You said Tom. Yeah,
I did?
I just.
My apologies.
It's early.
My apologies.
It's
My
okay.
apologies.
Look, if Tom asked me to be in a video with him, I would.
there you go.
Tom
Thanks.
Sanfilippo, I'd be in a video with you. Just ask.
Thanks for saving me on that. Thanks.
Yeah, it's the crack of 11:27.
Yeah, right.
Wait, we're supposed to be laughing, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
What's now? Let me ask. When you're playing guitar, what's it? Is it intimidating or anything? Like, because I mean, you got a virtuoso, next to you, married to you. Like, are you ever like intimidated, or do you feel like you're being judged, or do you play as well as he does? I don't know.
I
Just
play
say yes.
way better than him. Kidding? But the male fragile ego, I just have to dumb it down. It's like what we talked about earlier. It takes a lot to, keep things in balance.
I hear you. Yep. Great answer. What's
I'm going home.
well? What's it like to playing the Mark Newman band? I mean, does he ever turn to you? No, fix this, do this part, and wait till we get home, you son of a bitch.
No, not at all.
I don't believe that for a second.
Okay, so there's two parts of that. One is what's it like to work on music and be a part of it, and the other is what is it like to be in the band and perform on stage. Being in the band and on stage is great, and there's look, I would think it is with most people. Once you're in that moment on stage, you're in it, and so there's not a whole lot of second guessing or anything like that. You're in it, and whatever comes of it, what comes of it. The ride home is typically, I give him a look, and he gives me a look, and I'm like, it was so loud.
And
he
say
goes,
it's a
there's
guitar player's
nothing I could do.
birthright.
He's like, there's nothing I could do about it. I'm like, I understand that, which is why I didn't say anything while it was too loud. I'm just saying now it was so loud.
But then it's followed with, Mark, I loved when you played this and when you did this, and then you talk about how great the gig was.
Of course.
Right.
Well, yes.
That's what
fact.
that's what I think would be an advantage to being, with your significant other as part of a band or in a show or doing comedy, whatever it is. You have that shared experience.
Yeah, I mean, we made back when we were doing music from the Hive. I have no website for that, but and that's how I met Frank. We were doing this singer-songwriter thing, and it was a lot. It was a lot to coordinate. We did for years. Every month, we'd have 4 featured singer-songwriters and an open mic, and we'd have to get people scheduled in, and then sometimes people would bail, and then we'd be scrambling at the last minute because we really we wanted to curate, so to speak, the people who were there, so that we didn't want 4 people that had the same friends.
Right.
And the audience, we wanted
Right.
to split it up so that you have an opportunity for new people to come hear
Be exposed to something new, right.
Right. And if somebody was we didn't want 2 people that were really like old school, like Peter, Paul, and Mary singer-songwriter, or right, and then we didn't want 4 people like that because it's a lot on the ear. So we wanted to really curate it and make it interesting and different. And there was a time in there where it was a lot of work to keep it going, and the sound and running the sound, which we were doing, and bringing the gear and doing everything, and we would start bickering more over that one thing than anything else. We just got to a point where which is not why we stopped doing it. We stopped doing it. We didn't have a venue anymore. But it was, we just were we're not, it's not worth fighting over music.
There probably was, when you didn't have a venue anymore, a little relief to it.
There was.
As much as you love doing it, probably relief.
Yeah, we've done it from time, we did one at the South Huntington Library a bunch of years ago, and every now and then we'll pop up and do a Music from the Hive. Maybe we should do one here.
Let's do it. We could do that. How long you been together? Does nobody know?
This is your show. I just work here.
I don't know if there was life before Mark.
Good answer. Wow. Wow. Well, the reason I asked because I was gonna ask if it does it get easier now as you're doing a Mark Newman band show, is there less bickering the longer you've been together? Is there more of a routine and it just gets easier?
Yeah, and even like even before we were a couple, we were working together.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we were working together, and we were doing like local gigs, but we were also doing weddings and club dates and all that stuff. And you know, it was we kind of like fell into like a rule. He doesn't follow rules, but
Good.
an agreement long time ago, which is like if it's his gig and he books it, then
Yep.
then he makes all the decisions, and I do my best to just shut up and execute whatever he asks me to do. And if I book it and my name's on it, then he has to do his best to shut the fuck up and comply, right, and execute. And that's kind of the way
That's a fair deal.
His name is on it, right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're playing together first. So is this like a Fleetwood Mac thing? Like, did you like?
I hope it doesn't end up that
I was
way.
gonna say. Jeez.
After the show, it might.
Except a couple of millions in the bank, maybe, for that part. But,
Yeah, true.
You know.
True. So yeah, all right. So let me. So when you say when you book something yourself, so do you go out there as Naomi Margolin? Like, do you have your own thing that Mark backs you up?
It's been a really long time since I did that.
Oh,
but
okay.
occasionally, yeah.
Because
occasionally.
in doing my research this morning,
You found nothing.
God's honest truth, I did find
have
nothing.
been like trying to get myself off of the dark web forever. I'm in fear of.
I
no.
knew you looked familiar. No.
And I don't even know how many people know my last name. You know, Madonna, Naomi. You know, you get it. It's just
Cher.
Yep.
Yeah.
And share alike.
I'll tell you what I did find, and I want to ask because I'm not sure if it's even you. Are you an author of a book? Is that so? I have the wrong Naomi Margolin.
I don't know what's the name of the book and what are the royalties on it.
Right. You know what? I didn't even put the title down because I had a feeling it wasn't you, so I didn't even.
I have been mentioned in a book.
I was about to say that too. Lessons from the Road: Musicians as Business Leaders.
Yeah, that was cool.
What? All right. Well, I want to get back to that, but I'm assuming you're a part of Musicians as Business Leaders because you're such a big shot at Armada Care.
Yes.
So that I found.
Yes.
So tell us what that is. That's the day job.
That's
the real job.
Yep.
What can we talk about that, or should I not have mentioned it?
No, you
Oh,
can.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Too late.
Yeah, right. Everybody, quick! La 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 la.
Yeah, right.
yeah, this
Rewind.
can be so I'll back up, right?
Okay.
1990, 91, I think it was 90. I was in a band with Phil Richards called Absolute Drama.
Brother of Keith.
Close, brother of Nikki.
Nikki. Right.
Great singer, both a musical family.
Okay.
Grew up with them, great friends, etc. And we had just done Star Search.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
You met Ed McMahon?
I did.
Really?
I did. I got to shake his hand, and twice because we were on the show twice.
Oh, I bet he was smashed out of his head.
No,
Yes,
no,
he
was
was.
lovely.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, one of them was a really early morning taping.
Oh wow! Who was that guy on there that we used to make fun of?
Sam Harris.
Wow, you really did
Yeah,
pull that name
Over
out.
the Rainbow.
Oh my good.
Yeah.
Is that what he did? Oh, couldn't stand him.
Tails. He always had like a
Yes.
jacket with tails
And he had the
on.
big giant mullet going on. Oh, he
So,
was so annoying.
While we were out there, it was one of the anniversaries of Star Search. So one of the days we were out there taping, there was this big thing outside the theater, and Sam Harris was there. And as a matter of fact, and he sang. We were on. So I don't know his name, but if you would know it. I'm assuming. Seinfeld, last 2 episodes, right? The final episodes of Seinfeld. There's the comedian who's the guy who was in the car that was carjacked.
I remember that episode. I don't remember who it was though. It's going to bug me now. Go ahead. Continue. I'm listening.
He was one of the comedians on Star Search when we were on.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's all. So now, anyway, so we did Star Search. We were kind of like not gigging too much when we came back. We were trying to figure things out, and I wasn't I need to make some money. So my sister said, hey, I can get you a job temping at this company that I'm temping at. And I said, that's great. What do I have to do? And she said, type. I'm like, I didn't fail typing. That I could do. So what do I have to wear? And she's like, nothing. Just like wear jeans.
Wear nothing?
Or whatever.
Oh.
But
Sorry.
Topless insurance company.
So I got
That
this,
was my insurance company.
I got this job temping at an insurance company in Great Neck at the time called First Rehab. And I got to answer the phones, First Rehab, and all my friends would say, as opposed to your second or third. So it's an specialty insurance company here, and it was great because I could kind of do whatever I wanted to do and work there. And
Nice.
I carved out a little niche for myself. I ended up working in that company for 20 years.
Wow.
And then 13 years ago, I made a switch over to this company called Armada Care, which was a startup little specialty insurance company. And yeah.
So you started out off, this is great. You started off answering phones and then what, just fell in love with the industry or the job itself and kind of moved up? Or was this some kind of, was that a business that you were looking to get into already?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, people who end up in the insurance business, either their parents had successful insurance careers or they just sort of ended up in it, which is what, you'd probably be surprised or not. But, it was fun. I ended up going into, work my way through, mailroom, reception, assistant's assistant, worked for the straight through the company.
Yeah.
Until one day they came to me and said, you're really good at talking with people. Would you consider going to sales? And I said, oh, no. I'm not a salesperson.
That's a tough life right there.
I don't want to sell anything.
Yeah.
Salespeople are, snake oil salesmen and pushy, and I'm not like that, and I don't want to be like that. And the guy I was dating at the time, who is in sales, had said to me, he's like, I think you got that wrong. People do business. Forget sales. Don't say you want to sell anything. He's like, just people do business with people they like and people they trust.
Oh, interesting.
People like you. People seem to trust me. He said, you should do it. What have you got to lose? And it was one of those, what have you got to lose? I'm like, I don't know. And so I went to sales and I enjoyed it.
Wow.
And I just tried to do the right thing for people and not worry about making money.
That is the hard part, especially in the insurance business, I would think, where, like you said, the salesmen are, or at least you thought being in sales was kind of icky, where, in a field like insurance, a lot of people wonder just, how much they, the insurance or, really care.
Yeah.
Which, and then when I read too that you're, I'm drawing you do something too with disability law. Am I correct with that?
I don't anymore.
You did? Oh, okay.
In my last, when I worked with First Rehab, we were a large disability carrier.
Oh, okay. But when I saw that though, that to get into disability law, that tells me that this is somebody who cares. Because disability law, I don't think is a big money maker. Like you hear law, people automatically think you're a big lawyer making money. But disability law is not a money maker. But also just to get into that particular field of law is usually because you care. So I'm thinking this is somebody who's in sales, but somebody that you'd want to be in sales with because you do care.
Yeah,
I hope all that made sense.
Yeah, it does. And then we'll get back to the fun stuff. But when I was, back in the day, I was very, very involved with the Korean American Insurance and Financial Advisors Association.
Okay.
KFA. So I did a lot of business with in that community, and I was invited to their annual gala. I was, every year. There I am at this event in Queens, and the New York State Superintendent of Insurance is there at the time.
Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing.
Oh, yes. Now it's DFS. It's all very technical stuff. See, I, float in and out of different worlds all the time. Anyway, long story short, started talking to him, And I said, I was like, so as the superintendent of insurance, like what kind of things keep you awake at night? Like thinking I'm being funny and clever and, hey, what keeps you awake at night, Mr. Important person who cares? And he says, and his answer at the time was, people who have to start cutting pills because they can't afford to buy their prescriptions.
Oh, wow.
And I went, that's like a crazy thing. He said, because
Yeah.
people don't take the right dosages because they can't afford to refill them, and then the dosages don't work the way they're supposed to, and it's just all of a sudden not a comedy show anymore.
That's all right. That's all right.
But,
We're free form.
But he and I started talking about a couple of different things, and at the time, which was probably around when I started working, right after I started working with Mark, I was my fiance had passed away recently of a long cancer illness, and me and Greg Serio, who's the superintendent, started talking about that. And I shared with him, I said, like I'm in the business and it's so hard to navigate these things and to understand what questions to ask and, what services are available. And it's just crazy. And he said, so how can New York State help you?
Yeah. I've got a list here.
Yeah, but we actually worked together. I worked with his office. And again, this is 25 years ago.
Yeah.
On a website called Insurance Help NY. I don't even think it's there anymore. But really, it was for seriously ill patients and their caregivers, right? Because we learned at the time, like, we're not caretakers. Like, those are the people that pull the weeds in the cemetery. We're caregivers. And it was really about navigating things and what questions to ask a hospital system, how if you're going to have a procedure done and you're going to the best place. It's important to make sure you have the best surgeon, but the nursing team is even more important because when you walk out of surgery, those are the people taking care of you.
Exactly right.
And all of those types of things. And so that was kind of like really cool thing I got to do in the insurance world that was, bigger than me and helping a lot of people at the time.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
That is great, really. And again, we're free forming here. And I'm glad I brought that up because it is refreshing, even though it was 25 years ago. It's still refreshing to hear that there are people out there that really do care. As a cancer survivor, it sucks when you have to, take care of yourself and battle this thing, but then you still have to worry about the insurance.
Yeah.
And where it's all going to be, covered.
Yep. That's right.
And I had, when I was sick, I actually had very good benefits at the time. And there was still a ton of money that came out of pocket.
Yeah.
Stuff that you don't even think about. So so it's nice to know that there's people out there, that really do care and want to do something good. So all right. So like I said, I want to go back to the book. So did that world and being in insurance, is that what the book, like someone like yourself who's like a big shot at a Medicare, like was that? Was that like what the book was about, like how you balanced the life, or what was the book about?
So the book was it's a friend of mine who is writing a book. He was a touring musician for years, and then married kids. Ended up
he married kids. Who is this weirdo?
Married with Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh no,
Elvis.
Yeah, we can keep going, right? Like, let's do lightning round.
Did he?
Well, there you go. That's like 98 rounds right there. And counting. Or 98 counts and rounding. I don't know. So yeah, my buddy Todd Pasternak, shout out to him, went to the corporate side, the dark side of the world.
Son of a bitch.
I know, we do it though. There's nothing wrong with it. And he wrote this book, and he reached out because he learned there were things as a touring musician that translate. And so he reached out to me. He reached out to there's a guy. There's a jam band called Mo. Al Schneer, who's in that band. Who also went to college. College buddy of mine, and just a bunch of musicians or people that were musicians and now are in corporate world. And just like, what little things did you learn when you were in the band, or when you were working in bands, or when you were touring that actually translate and help you be more.
Oh, okay.
Be better at your day job.
That's different.
There.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what that was, and I gave him a little snippet.
And there were, I don't have, were there several things that you were able to take from being in bands into the corporate world with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Always. You know,
I'm not doubting you. I was just curious.
I would say translates to comedy too, right? Like some people think that like in business, like things are somewhat structured and here's our presentation and this is what we're doing and let me walk you through this. And you know, like if you're if you do live music or comedy, you know, you're only one piece of the equation. It's everybody else around you, and you have to be able to listen and adapt and hear and you know, measure and cadence and all those kind of things.
Sure.
That you also have to know your role, right? So when I was singing with Sam Moore from Sam and Dave for a while.
Yeah.
And the first gig I did with them, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. They had an underage person in the band, and the gig was in a casino, and she was not allowed on the casino floor.
Right.
So it was like, we need a singer. You've seen could you do the gig? And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course I could.
Sam Moore.
When? And they're like, in an hour.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, sure, okay.
I know all of his songs.
You know,
Sure.
I went to sound check. I sang just enough, and then I was like, oh fuck. And then the thing clicked in my brain. I said, oh wait, I'm not the star. My job is to not fuck it up. My job is to not fuck up his show.
Right.
Right. So there's two schools of thoughts often with music. One is right or wrong, sing it strong. The other is when in doubt, lay out.
Yeah.
And understanding the difference of when to use either one is really like, you know, the craft, I suppose, of it. And once I was like, oh, my job is just not to fuck up his show.
Yeah.
I'm not the star. Nobody should actually in some ways even know I'm there. And I think knowing, like in my business world relationship, when I'd be sometimes doing like these complex insurance policies and asking a insurance broker or consultant to bring me in to help explain it to his client, to the CFO, the CEO of sometimes these are big publicly traded corporations.
Sure.
I would always say, look, my job is to be your backup singer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Right.
My job is to help pace you. My job is to help you look like the star with your client. My job is, if you're off on some level, to distract just long enough that you can get that, compose yourself and get what you need done. And when I would share that with people, all of a sudden they were like, oh, you get it. Like, I'm not coming in to say, hey, look what I know.
Right.
I'm coming here really to truly support you.
Sure.
And that was one of those things that really translated well.
Nice. That is great. And that sounds like a cool book, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. Todd Pasternak. I
all
have no idea what his website is, so I can't, yeah.
Well, you type in Todd Pasternak. I don't think you're going to come up with a lot of people. So. All right, so let's go with that. Sam Moore. So what was Mark already in the band, and so this girl couldn't do it. So Mark said, "My girl can do it."
No, he didn't. But
No,
he didn't even know till I was on stage.
He was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. So Sam's manager I'd met, at several gigs before, and she and I had hit it off. So she walked over me and said, "You sing?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Could you do the show?" And I said, "Yeah."
Wow.
And she's when? Yeah. She's like, "Okay.
So-
Do you have anything to wear?" Like,
Oh, that would be a start.
we're at a big casino. I'm sure they have a shop. I can go buy something.
Wow. And then what was there? Like, how did you know what to sing? Like, did you have sheet music, or somebody whispering in your ear? Like, what? How did you?
No, I had seen the show. I'm familiar with all the old Sam and Dave stuff. I already knew. Sam also, so again, bring things around the circle. Sam also would do a lot of like old tunes that weren't necessarily his.
Okay.
And a lot of those tunes he would we were doing a show in Japan once, and we get to sound check, and he's like, "Hey, I want to do a new song today." And we're all sitting around going, okay. And it's Lucky Old Son, which was an old Sam and Dave song, but none of the other girls in the band knew it. I knew it.
Nice.
You know how I knew it? Because Jerry Garcia used to do that too.
Very nice.
Right? So
Wow.
there were a lot of things that that Jerry in the Jerry Garcia band,
He covered everything,
He covered all
right?
that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like Get Out My Life Woman, all those kind of things that Sam would. And so while the other girls in the section didn't know it, they were all things I knew because of that.
Very nice. Yeah. That
And then
worked
it's just
out
an
nice.
ear. You know, you listen, you find a part, and you.
So after you jumped in for this kid, what, they kicked the kid out and you had the gig?
No, they just added me.
Oh, really? So-
Sam walked to me at the end of the night. He's like, "You're in the band."
Nice.
I was like, "Thank you, thank you. Happy to be here."
Yeah.
You were okay with that?
Take the glasses off.
Oh, he's got the true rock star
Look,
thing
he's
going
going
today.
further and further away. Like
I know. I
he's
keep
got
following
the
him with the camera, though. He's not getting away. No, I would think that's cool, right? To turn. Oh, that's.
Oh, they
going
saved
with
money on one hotel room.
Oh, yeah, that or you.
Well, there's that, and
You'd
I
have to share the room with the bass player anymore or something, right? This guy farts all night.
Not that bass player, no. Who's actually a good friend of ours.
Yeah, but he just farts all night. So yeah, that must have been. That must have been great. I mean, we talked about it when you were here, but yeah, playing for a legend like that, man, that's fantastic. And he's still, right? He's still got his chops. I mean, I don't think he plays out as much anymore, right?
No.
No,
Or not at all, or just not as much.
Just not as much.
Yeah.
Much. He does occasional sessions. There'll be, if there's something special where he can just walk in, sit in with somebody, or be featured on one song, and then you know, he's done.
I mean, the guy's got to be in his 90s, right? Or
No,
close to
no,
it?
he's
89?
89. huh?
88
That
or
was close.
89.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wait, Sam's going to
88.
be, he's 89.
89.
Yeah. And again,
Just had
this-
a birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
To still be able to sing like that, it's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
great, man.
Doesn't
Isaac-
warm up.
Yeah.
You know.
Really? Is that right? He just jumps
Walks
right
out on
out?
stage, opens his mouth.
Isaac Hayes
amazing.
called him the blessed one
Yeah.
because of his voice. And there were, I got to tell you, like, we would do shows where, aside from his instrument, right, like, incredible musician, incredible instrument, but his ability to really own the room and, you know, again, like, own the audience and pace the audience.
Sure.
Or the band
Right.
and get like just this it's just this natural thing where he can just get everybody. He would walk off mic. You know, he would always do You Are So Beautiful to Me as a tribute to Billy Preston.
Right.
After Billy Preston died. And we would end the shows with that, and he would just hit the for the last note, get the band really quiet, and you could literally see every person in the audience leaning in, right? And then he'd walk, 10 steps off mic, and then he would just hit this note and just hold it. It was so gentle and so filling.
Wow.
And, it was crazy. And we'd all, me and the other girls singing would like, start to, because he's that great. And there were nights I'd be like so busy listening to him, I'd be like, oh crap, I have to sing.
Right.
There was one
I have to
time he
ruin
was-
it, you know?
Yeah, right.
There was one time he was out of control. We were in Tokyo, and there was a Japanese pop star who covered something that Sam sang also. What was it? What song was it? Maybe it's better I don't even mention the song because then...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just-
And the guy lost his place and was looking for a love. A Japanese pop star. And
Okay.
you could... Anyway, he's singing in Sam's face, and he kept singing the chorus over and over. And Naomi and the other girls are right up front, and Sam looked like he was about to burst out laughing, and he couldn't laugh in this guy's face. And the guy came back the next year when we played in Tokyo, and Sam turns to the band. He said, "Anybody laughs, you're fired."
I mean, the guy was like in his face, like really emoting, and Sam's just like, oh my god. And then of course so we're all sitting there trying to make Sam laugh on purpose.
That's
right?
great.
So we're all sitting there like doing these faces to him, and at one point he just turned around, let this guy stand up there and sing by himself, and he just turned around and he walked back to the drums and he sat down. He just started
Wow.
That's great.
Is this guy's name Tortoise?
I don't think that
Yes,
was Tortoise.
that was
there
Tortoise.
were two guys.
Tortoise Matsumoto, singer of the Yulefils, back in
know.
2003.
Uh,
I mean, if you can't say, then it's
no,
fine.
it was
there
more
were a
like
couple-
2009.
Yeah, there were a couple of different
okay.
Japanese artists that
Or
would
10.
come in, so I'm not sure which one it was.
Oh, Paul Carrack covered that song once too. I did not know that. Paul Carrack's one of my favorite singers
Oh, yeah.
ever. I've
Yep.
tried to get him on this show. But he actually wrote back to say no, but he at least wrote back.
Oh, that was kind. Very great. It was very gracious of him.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, we've been on for an hour. We're talking music and insurance, of course. Music and insurance. But we haven't had a single song. I think you're cool with singing something?
Yeah.
He brought the guitar.
Does it need anything?
Excuse
A
me.
player.
Your call.
Let's do like Whitebird together.
Okay.
Does that
Sorry?
work? Whitebird?
Whitebird? Okay.
Whitebird. Whitebird.
What's that?
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
Exactly.
Who sings Whitebird? I'm not familiar.
It's a beautiful day.
Oh, okay.
What kind of a day is it?
A beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day.
Okay.
Who's on first?
Right.
I don't know.
Third base. Right. What just happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's all you.
So, Whitebird is the name of the band.
Oh.
You hear it
No.
It's a Beautiful Day is the name of the band. Whitebird is the song, and a lot of people used to, like, you've heard this. You'll know it. No? Maybe?
I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe.
I'm just doing the intro so you can talk.
Ready?
Whitebird in a golden cage on a winter's day in the rain. Whitebird in a golden cage. Hang on.
This is live.
I had a tune for another song. Second verse.
You have to put the needle up and down.
Leaves blow across the long black road to the darkened skies in its rage, but the white bird just sits in her cage alone.
Sing along.
Whitebird must fly, she will die.
I could play that part better than him. Just saying.
Whitebird dreams of the aspen trees with their dying leaves turning gold, but the white bird just sits in her cage, growing old. Whitebird must fly, she will die. Whitebird must fly, she will die. Sunsets come, sunsets go, clouds fly high, the earth moves slow, and a young bird's eyes do always glow. She must fly, she must fly, she must fly.
Wow. That's great.
That was very good. Yeah, that was
It was
fantastic.
so loud.
I have to hear about this after every song.
What? So, what? The band is called "It's a Beautiful Day."
Yeah.
I am. You know.
I know the song.
You knew the song? I never heard that before.
60s San Francisco band.
Oh, that had that written all over it. That I
like,
picked up.
Most people think when they would hear it, they thought it was Airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It wasn't,
true.
but
It wasn't. It was a
just
beautiful day.
wasn't. Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
They did have other songs, but that was
But
their...
nobody knew them.
That was
When
their
we
big
started,
one.
I realized what it was.
Anybody like come out of that we would know today or no?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever heard of the band or that song. Yeah, but that was great though. Yeah, that was really great. All right. Ann in California, she knows it.
Yay!
Beautiful song. She says, "Wow." She says.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you.
John in Florida, John Rusciello, who had a birthday yesterday, he said that was wonderful,
Thank
which
you,
it was,
John.
which it definitely was. That was nice. Mark, who would you say is? You don't have to just stop at one name. Who would you say is a very underrated guitar player?
An underrated guitar player. Mark Knopfler, for sure.
You would say Mark Knopfler is underrated?
I think he's one of the most incredible guitar players out there.
Right, but don't a lot of people say that?
Well, I don't know if people put him in the same light as like Eric Clapton or Jeff Beck or
Oh, okay.
Where people consider that like kind of the top of the heap. But I mean, in the 80s and 90s, he was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't play fast. He didn't, but was one of the most tasteful guitar players ever.
Oh, sure.
I would say...
we saw him and Clapton together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Who else? Still early.
You rock stars.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys. There are a lot
sure.
of guys that are just incredible players that, because their name's not Clapton or Beck. David Gilmour.
See, that's again. I'm surprised to say that would be an underrated guitar player.
Again, people don't
really.
No, I think he's amazing.
Yeah.
I think the solo on "Another Brick in the Wall" is
fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know that he gets the credit that he deserves, in my opinion.
Surprised to hear that.
Lowell George, even though, I mean, only because they're not a household name.
Right.
There are a handful of slide players, but for my money, he's the most tasteful of all of them, and he doesn't sound like all those other guys. I used to play guitar for John Oates, and
right.
Oates is a great guitar player. So
yeah, so you wouldn't know that. Like the general public wouldn't know that.
right, and we were having he was having a great night on guitar, and I said to him, "Man, you were great tonight," and he goes, "Yeah, I nailed every one of the 10 riffs that I know." So, I'm trying to think of somebody else, but
I'm listening to this. I'm thinking, I remember when I was in high school. I don't know about you guys. Like there'd be these. Somebody would pass along like around a piece of paper of the best guitar players in the world, right? Rank the top 5, and it would go through like every class, and everyone would write it down or scratch the number because we would do like these polls, and it was always like it was Santana, it was Clapton, it was Beck, and so I'm thinking like. That was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So who'd be added to the list since then, other than maybe like Derek Trucks or Joe Bonamassa? Like who are the people that have been added since like 1980, whatever?
Mm-hmm. John Mayer.
Yeah.
Speaking of John Mayer, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was splitting.
John Mayer he did something very smart. He started his career as a singer-songwriter.
Right.
When at a point where there weren't a lot of guitar solos on records. Mm-hmm. Then he came out with the trio, which was just ridiculous.
Yes.
Now, he has no particular style. He's like a chameleon. He's so good.
Yeah.
I was playing a corporate event with the guys in the Uptown Horns. No, it was a wedding. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was, and they got hired because of who they are. And the leader calls me up. He said, John Mayer's the best man. He might sit in.
Oh, wow.
Great. I brought an extra amp, extra guitar. Anyway, then he wasn't going to sit in for whatever reason. I'm tuning my guitar. We're about to start a set of Motown stuff. A lot of soul music, which is what the Uptown Horns do primarily.
Right.
So he's a very tall guy, and I'm 5'6". And I'm tuning my guitar, looking down, and this guy taps me on the shoulder and says, I look up. I go, he goes, hi, I'm John. Is it okay if I sit in?
Wow.
And I got to tell you, he was absolutely amazing. And to use Naomi's word, extremely gracious.
Nice.
Like he was soloing and he'd look at me and go like, your turn. And he borrowed one of my guitars to sit in. And didn't matter. He was just insanely good.
Oh, yeah.
And then we saw him with the Dead, and I went, yeah, I get it.
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
We have to ask her about her Paul McCartney story.
Okay.
I gotta hear the story again.
This is the only reason you're here.
No.
It could be.
I love the story.
Okay. So we were coming back from doing a gig in Montauk at the Memory Motel.
Yep.
And
Great Rolling Stone song.
Great. Yep. Mm-hmm. And we stop in East Hampton at the pizza place. We go in.
Some background music for this? Go ahead, sorry.
So yeah, we go in. We go to the counter. We order 2 slices, 3 slices of pizza, whatever it was, and so the guy, the senor behind the counter. I said something, I'm like, hey, ¿cómo estás? And he's like, oh, no, bene, tu. I'm like, non c'è male, you know. And so he now thinks I speak Italian, which I don't. Like, that's all I got.
But that's your fault. You started it.
Yeah. Of course I did. So he looks at me and he says, you know, in his Father Guido Sarducci voice. Just keep thinking Father Guido Sarducci. And for those of you who don't know who that is,
you should.
Shame on you.
Yes.
And Shirley, you jest. And stop calling me Shirley.
Yes. Right.
Okay, so he says, he's like, oh, you Italian. I said, oh, no. He's like, no, si. And I said, no, I'm not. He goes, you're not Italian? He goes, no. And Mark says, I've been to Italy. and he looks at
I've even been to Sicily.
Anyway. Right, and the guy looks at Mark, and he looks back at me, he says, no, you Italian. I'm like, I'm not Italian.
Just
he
say
goes,
yes.
But you speak Italian. I'm like, I don't speak Italian. Like, that's all I had. And Mark's like, I just saw Mount Etna erupt, right? Oh, and the guy looks at him, he's like, you Italian? And Mark goes, no. He goes, but you in Italy? And he goes, yeah, I'm a musician. And the guy goes, oh, you a musician? And Mark says, yeah. He goes, hey, I got a customer. He's a musician. Guess who he is? And I'm like, no, I don't know. Just tell me, no, you gotta guess. Guess who a musician is. He's big a musician. Guess. You gotta guess. And I said, Paul Simon. Because I'm out in the Hamptons, right?
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, a Paul Simon. No, he's not a Paul Simon. Guess again. And I'm like, Mick Fleetwood, because I think he lives out there. He's like,
and he's big.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, right.
I'm like, Mick Fleetwood. He goes, no, I'm talking a big musician. I said, I don't know. So he makes me guess like 3 more people.
Oh my goodness.
And then finally, I said, why don't you just tell me? He goes, oh, my customer, he's a Paula McCartney. You know a Paula McCartney? And I said, well, I don't know him, but
Right.
but I know who he is. He goes, hey, that Paula McCartney, he's some guy. I said, he's some guy? He goes, oh, he's a summer guy. Let me tell you, that Paula McCartney, he come in here, he get his pizza, right? He get his pizza. And then while he waiting for the pizza, all the girls are over there. They're having their lunch. And they go, oh my God, it's a Paula McCartney. I'm going to call her my sister. And they call her their sister. And they go, hey, it's a Paula McCartney. Hey, Paula McCartney, come and talk to my sister. And Paula McCartney, he said, hey, it's a Paula McCartney. I'm getting pizza with your sister. that Paul McCartney, he's some guy. And I said, oh my God, I bet he is. He goes, you see his house? I said, have I seen his house? He goes, yeah, you see Paul McCartney's house? I said, I have not seen Paul McCartney's house. Because now I'm saying Paul McCartney, right? So it's Paul McCartney. I said, I have not seen Paul McCartney's house.
Paul's sister, Paula.
He goes, it's a nice house. It's not a nicer house, but it's a nicer house. I said, really? He goes, hey, my house is nicer than Paul McCartney's house. Your house is nicer than Paul McCartney's house. And I'm like, I doubt my house, because I live in a one-bedroom, third-floor walk-up apartment. I drive around the block at night looking for parking. I got laundry in the basement. I'm like, I don't think my house is nicer than Paul McCartney's house. He goes, I don't know. My house is nicer than Paul McCartney's house. I'm like, $4 a slice? I have no doubt that your house is
right. Wow. Was it really $4 a slice?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It costs a lot of money
it was
to get
the Hamptons.
to send the water out to East Hampton.
So far, I hate this guy, just so you know.
Hey, but that Paul McCartney, he's some guy.
And then we met Paul McCartney.
Oh, all right. That was the whole story? So I thought you were going to say Paul walked in or something.
No.
Right?
Oh,
okay.
Good. You can, at Ron Delsner's house. I played guitar for Willie DeVille, and Willie DeVille had passed away.
Right.
By the way, wrote the song, the theme to Princess Bride, that Mark Knopfler sang and played at.
I did not know that.
Yeah. See how it all comes. Great comedy always
full
comes
circle.
back full circle.
Full circle.
We did a memorial for Willie DeVille at B.B. King's in 2010, and Ron Delsner hooked it up. He was a big fan of Willie's.
Oh, okay.
So at the end of the gig, he said, hey, I'm having a backyard party on Sunday. You guys want to come out and do the same show? You know, just play a lot of the same Willie DeVille stuff. And Willie DeVille covered a lot of old blues tunes,
right.
old R&B tunes,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we go out there, and the guests were, you probably remember better than I do.
Yeah. So they send me, we're set up in the pool house. So we're thinking a private party. We're like, there's going to be tents and catering and all this stuff.
Yeah.
We pull up to Ron Delsner's house. He's sitting on his front lawn filling little lanterns.
Oh, really?
We're like,
wow.
No tent, no nothing.
Where was it? Out in the Hamptons also?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron
Out
Delsner
East
has to have
Hampton.
so much money.
I mean, that plus, like, you know, when I met Ron Delsner, that was almost like meeting Paul McCartney. I mean, as a kid growing up on Long Island, like,
every concert ticket. Ron
Presents.
Delsner presents, right.
like
Yep.
that guy's name is on the walls in my house more than anybody's. I got all my ticket stubs framed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Delsner, or Cher, right? Delsner,
You
Cher.
should have said that to pizza guy. Do you know Rhonda Delsner?
So we get there and they set up in the pool house and they've got this lovely spread for the band, and then we run out of like wine or something, and the guys in the band are like, "Hey Naomi, why don't you go scope out getting some more drinks for us?" Like, yeah, it's a chick singer's job. So I'm like, okay. So I go outside to where the party's being set up, and there's a little bar area, and then I notice there are literally cases of Landshark beer, like probably 10 cases high of Landshark beer, and I'm thinking to myself, who actually drinks this shit?
Yeah.
And then I turn around and Jimmy Buffett's standing there, and I say, oh, that makes sense. So I grab some stuff, I go back to the pool, tell the guys, we come out to start playing, and I was like, oh yeah, there's Jimmy Buffett. See, I told you he was here. And then somebody else says, oh, and that's Paul McCartney.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm like, where? And he looks at me, he goes, take a breath. I'm like, okay. Where's Paul McCartney? He was there. Jack Nicholson was there.
Nice.
Angelica
Houston was there. McEnroe was there with Smart Lake.
They all have summer houses in the Hamptons.
Right, yeah.
And it was really a dinner, like literally a dinner party for 30 people in the backyard. And
only 30 people, and those were among the 30?
those like that was
so
it.
there's only, I'm picturing like 300 in there mixed in.
No,
I
this
think
was
the band
like,
outnumbered the crowd.
I
Oh,
think
wow.
so. Yeah, and so there's a big round table set up, and it's McCartney and his wife and Nichols. Like I remember texting my boss at the time. I'm like, I'm at a party and Paul McCartney's here. By the way, Jack Nicholson here, which is really fucking cool. Except Paul McCartney's here, so like that's why I live with that.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And every time the band started a song, again, a lot of musicians in that room, right? But every time the band started a song, and the band's over there, McCartney would go like this.
Wow.
And he would listen. until somebody would kind of bring him back into the conversation and be like, okay. But every single song, and they were all, like, he was dancing right in front of us with Angelica Houston, who was barefoot, which was like the craziest thing. Like, totally surreal. Because, again, it's not like a big, like, corporate thing or what. It's like, they just hang out in their friend's backyard. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as it was over, like, all the guests went to the front porch to have cocktails, except for Paul McCartney, who, again, never disappointing, came right over to the band and to introduce himself and thank everybody for the music. You know, like, everything a guy like that you would want.
Yeah.
And the entire time we were packing up, the keyboard player just kept saying, okay, I got the trunk open. So as soon as McCartney comes down the driveway, I'll push him in, and then we'll have him. And I was like, and what are we going to do with him? He's like, I haven't gotten that far yet.
He came over and talked to the band, and I was holding a guitar. He grabbed the guitar from me.
You said, get your paws off my guitar.
Yeah. And he
looks at me. Grab his girlfriend.
And he says, it's built upside down. You know, because he's left.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And he shook everybody's hand, and he put his hand on her shoulder. I thought she was going to melt into the lawn.
You haven't washed that shoulder since.
Well, these celebs do these the arm pat, right? So there was 2 weeks before that, I was doing this gig out at Ron Perlman's house. He was doing a big fundraiser for the Apollo Foundation.
Oh, wow.
So I was in the house band. I was the vocal section. The Roots were the house band. Nice. Bon Jovi was singing. John Legend. Richard Gere was there, like Mary J. Blige. Like, this was like and so as I'm driving out to that gig, I'm going to meet Paul McCartney tonight. I'm going to throw up. Like, I'm going to throw up. Because I'm going to meet Paul McCartney tonight. And my friend's like, why are you so convinced you're going to meet him tonight? I'm like, I don't know. I just know I'm going to meet him tonight. And 2 weeks later, I met him. So my voodoo was on. It was just slightly off. That's right. Yeah, it was cool.
That's funny.
I was I was at a gig in Scotland once. My friend Elio Pace, who I talk about constantly on the show.
Scotland, Ohio, right?
Sure. That's the one everybody knows. But I was in this other one in this small country, and it was some kind of big charity event. I'm not a golfer, but apparently St. Andrews is like the golfing mecca of the world. I'm not a golf guy, so I don't know. And apparently it was some high-end charity event. I was told that all these like world famous golfers were there. I have no idea. So I'm just hanging out. But also,
was Arnold Palmer there?
I did not see him. He was probably the one. Him and Jack Nicklaus and maybe a handful. Tiger Woods and there's the guy who parties a lot with the big guy. That I don't see. I can't remember his name.
Forever in the locker room with him.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm at this event. It's a high-end charity event. My friend Elio is the leader of the band. Huey Lewis is playing with them. Tico Torres from Bon Jovi. Mike Rutherford from Genesis, which was a big deal for me. Yeah. But on percussion is Andy Garcia. Andy Garcia, I've told the story a million times on here, sorry. He showed up hammered. He was already gone. And he walked in, he had this big overcoat and this big derby of a hat, and like most people didn't even realize it was him walking in. He literally just like stumbling, not saying hi to anybody. He goes, they're doing sound check, and he goes right to the congas. He puts his jacket on the congas, and then just, and they're doing, and I think really they were about halfway through whatever song, and they were, oh, Andy's here. So they're walking over saying hi to him. One of the songs they're going to play, because Huey Lewis recorded a version of "Feeling All Right," the Joe Cocker, Dave Mason actually, right? And in the Joe Cocker version, there's the percussion quick drum solo part. Mm-hmm. So Andy Garcia, I mean, you would think he was playing a different song. I mean, he was just all over the place, right? So the event is going on, and they're all out there, they're playing, and I have video of this somewhere. I'm taking video, and I just happen to get it. This is a high-end gig. So this gorgeous blonde comes walking up. She's there with a guy, but she's on the dance floor, but she gets in front of Andy Garcia because the guy's going to take a picture with her with Andy Garcia behind her, right? So The blonde gets set up right in front of him. Sure enough, he sees her, and all of a sudden he's like... Guy takes the picture, puts the camera down, and Andy goes back. I laughed my ass off.
Now that's a pro.
Exactly. But then, so now, the night's not over, but the big names aren't playing anymore. Then, and it's like 2, 3 in the morning. And this thing is still going on. The band is still playing, but all the big names are done. Some of them have left. But Andy Garcia is still there. And it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. So at this point, it's loose. And I'm like, now I didn't have to be as professional. So I asked him for a picture. And my girlfriend at the time, she was there too. So we take this picture. She turns to him to say thank you. She turns, we get the picture. She turns to him, thank you very much, appreciate it. You're welcome. He totally just went like that. And he walked away. Now, I turned to her, I go, I don't know, am I supposed to be mad? Like, what just happened here? And she just looks at me, she goes, Andy Garcia touched my tit. That's all she said.
That's it.
That was it.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Never saw him again. But that was it. Yeah, she was okay with it. She was all right. So, yeah, there you go. Talking before about guitar players and stuff, I wanted to actually play something for you guys.
Ooh.
And you might figure it out, and Mark might too, but I want you to tell me what this guy is playing. Not the song, what instrument this guy is playing. You'll know the song, actually, as soon as you hear it. But, actually, if you can get the headphones.
Mr. Music, please.
You hear it? You don't hear it? All right, you guys know the song, right? No? Oh, it's the song is "Keep on Rockin' in the Free World." Neil Young.
Oh,
okay. But what is he playing? You guys, can you guys tell what instrument this guy is playing?
Is it Neil Young or is it a cover of a Neil Young?
It's a cover of the Neil Young song.
It sounds like it's being doubled by a synth.
Oh, I don't know.
It could be it might not even be a guitar, but he could be playing through a flanger, and he's got distortion on it too.
Yeah,
and
I noticed
he might be playing in fifths also, so he might be going like
right.
Do you know
like
the
that.
answer?
Oh yeah, I'm actually looking at the video. He's playing. Oh, you want to take a
I was
guess?
gonna say my first thought was it was a guitar, but like with an octave, maybe an octave pedal on it.
It could be, but or it could be like I said, there sounds like there's a fifth in there too.
Yeah.
So
it's an electric ukulele,
Why?
which I had never seen before. I didn't even know they existed.
that's
But
just a ukulele with a pickup, and then
Yeah.
he runs it through some.
Yeah. Okay. He's just running it through. In fact.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded kind of cool.
It does.
Bonus. Who's playing the drums? He was mentioned earlier today. What's that?
Kiko?
No,
Richie Hayward.
no. Bigger and better.
Paul McCartney.
Ringo.
Mick Fleetwood.
Oh, see, it all comes back, right?
This guy, Jake Shimabukuro, just put out an album called Blues Experience, and Mick Fleetwood is on the whole
Yeah,
album.
he sat in with us with Sam Moore.
Yeah.
Mick
No,
Fleetwood
he
did? Oh, that would have been cool. They actually do a version of Songbird on it, which Mick Fleetwood speaks the lyrics.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. So, all right, with that, it's time for us to go.
Get another song, or
We can quickly get another song. I wanted to. Do you write at all? Do you have originals, or
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Would you like to showcase an original before we go?
Let's do it. I think I
Yes.
remember it.
That's just what I remember. it can never work, she says. 'Cause only he truly loves all my quirks. Her friends aren't interested anymore. They've come to her defense each time she's waged war. So she holds out for the hope there must be something more. And she cries, and she cries. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be so hard just to feel loved. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be this hard. And he's the only one who'll listen how we treated her so bad. It don't matter if you're right when you're crying alone in bed. They both used up their pride. It don't matter anymore. She had the sense to walk, she'd only run back for more. So she holds out for the hope there must be something more. And she cries, and she cries. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be this hard just to feel love. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be so hard. And so she'll try again with him. Yes, she'll try as long as he stays. And she'll lay down the law that this time he must behave. Then a week may pass, 2, 3, or 4, but it always works out just like it did before. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be this hard just to feel love. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be so hard. Now another love has come and gone. I won't settle anymore. Next time it's all or none. Used up the pride. He gets good as a loan. She gets good to live up, but she goes back for more. So she holds out for the hopes there must be something more. And she cries, and she, what the fuck are the words? Whoa. It shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. It shouldn't be this hard just to feel love. Shouldn't be so hard just to be loved. Shouldn't be so hard.
That was great. That was really great. That was great. I love that. Ann from California says, great story about Paul McCartney. What a great guest today. Naomi and Mark are fantastic. Enjoyed their company.
Yeah.
Very nice. Real quick, because we got to go. Give us the socials and all that stuff again. Or
MarkNewman.us, Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Mark Newman Music on
Mark
Instagram.
Newman Music on Instagram. Sail and Shoes, sailandshoes.net. Tiger Rose.
what about what you just sang? Is that available somewhere? Do you have an album out or something? Or?
We haven't recorded it yet.
Oh, okay. All right, but that was great. Really.
I'm working on maybe next 10 years.
All right, that works.
She's waiting for me to get it right.
Nice.
Good answer. Mark Newman.
Thank you.
Naomi Margolin. This was a lot of fun. Thank
fun,
you.
right?
Good to have you back, Mark. This was great.
Just him.
Definitely gotta do more. Definitely gotta do more.
Who's next week?
Next week is Anastasia Barbatsoulis.
Ooh.
What? Anastasia what?
Barbatsoulis.
Barbatsoulis.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Very nice. All right. We got to get out of here because we have Sports Bash coming up at 1 o'clock. Peter Schwartz will be talking to Jimmy from John Boy Media. If you're a baseball fan, you know who John Boy Media is. John Boy Media exposed the Astros for cheating.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're great. They do great stuff. That's at 1 o'clock. What's today? Thursday? I think that's it for the day. Then Coffee with the Dog tomorrow morning at 9. He's got Jackie the Joke Man Martling. And then we're back here at 11. Jackie the Joke Man Martling will also be here as well. So he's doing both shows. And I might have John DeRessa tomorrow, too. I'm working on that. That's a possibility. Let's see. And on a governor's stage this weekend, where is it? Oh, there it is. Let's see. Lynn Koplitz is playing the club this weekend. The Uptown Comedy Show with Howard Moore, Mike Keegan, Carla Okerson, Jay Black, Jackie the Joke Man is at the Brokerage on Saturday. Sticks, Bones, and the Bone Squad and Chris Roach are playing the Brokerage on Sunday. Gibran, Celine, just some of the names you'll see on the Governor's stage this weekend. And don't forget, let's see. If anybody's going to be in England in November, go see Leo. He'll be on tour in November. What's that?
We'll be right there.
Yeah.
Well, come to Westbury Music Fair on December 27th and come see David Clark. He's doing a Billy Joel Elton John show.
David Clark.
Dave? Well,
we're good
this
friends
is
with David
David.
Clark.
This is David Clark.
Yep.
Oh, you're good friends with Dave? And that's right. I think we talked about it, right? And
Yeah.
Cindy, his wife?
Yeah.
She's
Met
fantastic.
her on a
Love her.
Sam Moore gig.
That's right. Right. You told me. I forgot. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
And funny as funny
She's
gets.
funny. Yep.
Love Cindy.
Yep.
And I hope she'll be there for that. Let's see. And don't forget, the show is coming up November 2nd. Clash of the Boroughs. Mike Picchetti and friends with Greg Criticos headlining. Johnny McDonald, who will be in here on Tuesday. Sean Kearns, Courtney Otero, Andrew Farella are also on that gig. December 13th, the Evil Twins of Comedy, Mark Riccadonna and Don Jameson, will be here in the Giga Room. That's also a Gov's Comedy Club podcast presentation. Mike Picchetti's going to host, and Mark Riccadonna has asked me to come up and do a set, so I'll be there too. And we're doing a Q&A after. Why? I have no idea, but we are. And then don't forget, December 21st at McGuire's in Bohemia, join Knockem Dead Comedy. We'll be doing one of our fun murder mystery shows. Okay, go to govs.com to make all your reservations for all these great shows. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com to find out what we got going on. And that's it. We got to get out of here. Once again, Naomi and Mark, this was a lot of fun. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I'll see you next week.
Next week.
Okay. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you.